fine colors.
And if you don't, your father's not going to help you.
That's what we're here for.
News 30's Don Marsh, winner of the 1998 Carter Stith Award for Lifetime Achievement in Journalism. Only the third broadcast journalist in 18 years to be honored with this prestigious award. News 30's Don Marsh, a career devoted to serving St. Louis. A journalist who believes that local news, news that affects St. Louisans, is the news that matters most. And now, awarded for his dedication and experience. For News 30's Don Marsh, it's the news that matters most. Coming up tonight on News 30 at 10, Missouri wines. Many already have a fine reputation, but we found out this harvest promises some exceptional wines. Come along with us. Missouri wine country is in the News 30 spotlight tonight at 10. Also tonight, the baby business. A lot of local hospitals are competing to deliver St. Louis's newest arrivals. The battle for baby's first buck. Tonight at 10 on News 30. It's the news that matters most.
ABC 30 in St. Louis. Live from the newsroom. This is News 30 at 5.
Was terror. Our mission was clear.
That was the president speaking to the nation just minutes ago. The United States has attacked the terrorist group believed to be responsible for the embassy bombings in Africa. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leslie Lyles. Don Marsh is off today. The U.S. strike in Afghanistan and the Sudan comes 13 days after the terrorist bombings in Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The attacks were carried out at 12:30 p.m. St. Louis time. The target, Osama bin Laden, the Saudi millionaire believed to be the brains behind the embassy bombings. He reportedly survived this attack. President Clinton returned from a planned vacation that was to have lasted 12 days. We have team coverage right now. We have a report from Washington, Andrea McCarran.
Demonstrations started up within moments of President Clinton's address to the nation. In it, he said the U.S. would persist in its fight against terrorism, and it will prevail.
President Clinton says he ordered the attack on terrorist-related facilities in Afghanistan and Sudan because of their threat to our national security. The facilities are operated by groups affiliated with international terrorist Osama bin Laden.
Our forces targeted one of the most active terrorist bases in the world. It contained key elements of the bin Laden network's infrastructure.
The president says the United States has convincing evidence these groups played a key role in the embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania and have carried out attacks against Americans in the past. Officials say the U.S. also has compelling evidence that the groups were planning additional attacks against Americans and were actively working to obtain chemical weapons. U.S. military forces struck terrorist training camps in Afghanistan and a chemical weapons facility in Sudan.
We recognize that these strikes will not eliminate the problem, but our message is clear. There will be no sanctuary for terrorists and no limit to our resolve to defend American citizens.
Some lawmakers were skeptical of the president's timing for the military action and said questions will be raised around the world as to whether it was an effort to divert attention from the Monica Lewinsky matter.
You have to look for the evidence as to why we have done what we have done.
Defense Secretary Cohen insisted that the sole motivation was protecting Americans.
In his Oval Office address, President Clinton said the U.S. fight against terrorism didn't begin with the bombings in East Africa and won't end with today's military action. He says the U.S. will carry on its struggle for freedom over fanaticism for as long as it takes. Reporting live from the White House, I'm Andrea McCarran. Now back to you.
Thank you, Andrea. And there are people tonight saying it is about time we struck back against terrorists, especially the mother of a Missouri man who died in the embassy bombings. News 30's Andy Banker is joining us live with this part of the story. Andy.
Leslie, we spoke over the phone with the mother of Army Sergeant Kenneth Hobson at her home in Lamar, Missouri. She says news of the attacks in Afghanistan and Sudan stunned her. Nonetheless, it was welcome news.
Yeah, I'm glad they did it. You can't just sit and let them run over us. That's not what our boys are going to in the service for, to let people run over them and kill them for no reason at all. It's to keep us free, so we've got to fight back.
Bonnie Hobson's been hoping something like this would happen ever since last week's memorial service for the 12 Americans killed. Now she knows President Clinton meant what he said when he spoke to her and her husband there.
When President Clinton came by and shook our hand at the end of the service, He told my husband he knew his obligations and his duty to his country, and he would see that it was taken care of, and that's exactly what he did. He kept his word.
He's one of my heroes.
News of the U.S. military strikes comes just a day after the family held a memorial service in Lamar for the 27-year-old Army intelligence officer, husband, and father.
I still can't say goodbye to him today because he's still in my heart, and I'm just not saying goodbye.
His wife and 2-year-old daughter are still grieving. His mother says no amount of retaliation can stop that, but this day at least is better than yesterday.
We've got each other to hold on to, and we've got to look forward and raise that baby girl and teach her about her daddy, and that's what we intend to do.
This is about protection and less about revenge for the Hobsons. Mrs. Hobson sees military action as necessary to keep what happened to her son from happening to anyone else. Leslie.
All right, Andy, we have reaction now from House Minority Leader Dick Gephardt. He issued this statement today, quote, "Given the information gathered on the groups involved in recent terrorist attacks against Americans, I commend the president for acting to protect American lives and interest." A local terrorism expert says we could indeed see a retaliation in some form for President Clinton's actions today. Webster University International Relations professor Kelly Kate Pease says it's important to keep in mind many countries in the world are not U.S. allies.
A large segment of the world's population that is marginalized, and we are not seen as friendly Uncle Sam. We're seen as very aggressive. We represent an alien culture to them.
We are going to now move on to other local news. There will be updated coverage on this story coming up at 5:30 on ABC's World News Tonight. Then tonight at 8 o'clock, an ABC News special report. It's called America Strikes Back, so join us for that. A St. Louis County Corrections officer driving a van full of prisoners was killed in a traffic accident this morning. It happened along westbound Interstate 70 in Wentzville. A driver headed eastbound lost control and jumped into the westbound lanes, hitting the prisoner van and also another car. The woman driving that car was also killed. The 12 prisoners were treated and they were released from the hospital. A hearing is now underway to determine whether 17-year-old high school football star Kevin Jordan will be able to play for the O'Fallon, Illinois Panthers this fall. Jordan was suspended for 1 year back in April after his second alleged violation of the school code of conduct for drinking. Jordan denied the charges and then took the school to district court. He says the suspension is not only unfair, it also may prevent him from getting a college scholarship.
If you don't play football during your entire senior season, that the 15 or so colleges who have been contacting him up to this point will probably lose interest.
A decision on this case is expected sometime tomorrow. The old water treatment plant in Weldon Spring is history tonight. As you can see, a crew brought the treatment plant down today because it had for a long time been a dangerous site. Teenagers called it the Echo Dome, and they like to hang out there. Several teens have actually died climbing it, and there have also been reports of rapes there. It was a stellar day for members of the Manchester United Methodist Church. Church members watched as the steeple of their new church was lifted into place. The steeple is 91 feet. It weighs 16,000 pounds, and it is a crowning touch on what is now the largest Methodist church in the state.
We've seen this go up and up and up, and now this is finally at the very top, and you know, that means a lot. And also one thing that I like is that I'll be able to see this all the way from Applebee's way down to Manchester, so it'll be great. Come over the hill, ooh, there's church. So.
The church seats 1,200 people. A 29,000-foot fall has adventurer Steve Fawcett thinking twice about another attempt to circumnavigate the globe in a balloon. Fawcett talked on camera for the first time today after being rescued from the South Pacific Ocean. He crash-landed on Sunday when a severe storm ruptured his balloon and ended his fourth around-the-world attempt. He had traveled 15,200 miles.
The balloon was being buffeted very heavily back and forth, and the burners were melting the edges of the balloon. It was dripping polyester on me, and the ropes were burning. At that point, I actually said out loud that I'm going to die.
But he did. On this attempt, Fawcett broke his own balloon distance record. It was set in January of 1997. And still ahead on News 30, Washington University broke a record today, and these students moving in played a key role in that happening. We're going to show you how that all worked out. Plus, 5 local families returned from China with some new family members, so don't go away. This is News 30 at 5.
Don Marsh and Leslie Lyles, Chief Meteorologist Karen Shipman, and Sports Director Rick Powers. You're watching News 30 at 5. It's the news that matters most.
Hi folks, I'm Ron Allen. If you're looking for a great place to get away on the weekends or a peaceful year-round home site, let me show you some of the wooded lots available now at Lake Perry. A gated community only 90 miles south of St. Louis where you can own your own 1/3 to 1/2 acre wooded home site like this from only $75 a month and a low down payment. That's right. Call the toll-free number on your screen now and you can own a wooded lot from $75 a month and a low down payment. Don't miss out. Call the toll-free number on your screen now.
The advantage is yours. Why not go for it all?
Advantage Quality Cars, where problem credit is not a problem, makes it easy to get into a reliable car or truck with a low down payment and affordable financing to fit your budget. Advantage is backed by the best warranty in the used car business, all in the price of the car. So why not go for it all? Advantage Quality Cars.
$100 down payment. That's all qualified buyers need to get into a quality certified used car or truck. Hurry in today.
A record number of Washington University freshmen are settling into their dorm rooms tonight. It was moving day at Washington University. 1,500 freshmen moved into the South 40 residence houses. We asked one of the young ladies about her major.
Don't know yet. Something I want to do in the health field, but don't really know exactly what.
That's okay, because there's plenty of time to make decisions like that. Classes, by the way, will start next Wednesday. The Guardian Angel Settlement Association held a school supply fair on the south side this morning. Low-income families from the 63104 zip code took home markers, notebooks, shoe vouchers, and other goodies. Health officials were also on hand to give the kids immunizations before the start of this school year. Now we go to a story about some precious kids from halfway around the world. They are just in from China tonight to start a brand new life. News 30's Dawn Kendrick has our report.
My goodness!
The anticipation was almost too much to take.
We want to see our baby now.
Especially for Kim Gutnick, who couldn't hold back the tears.
We've been waiting for a long time.
Gobs of gifts, bunches of balloons, and cameras aimed and ready, all telltale signs somebody very important was coming. For Kim Gutnick, it meant she'd have a new niece in a matter of minutes. And little Jessica, who was an orphan in China, now has a family of her own.
Here, can we put that on you? 10 days ago, we left to get our precious little gift. And we got her, and she's just perfect. And couldn't love a baby more if it was our own.
And the Dopplicks weren't alone in that anticipation and happiness today. All told, 5 St. Louis families stepped off the plane today to begin new lives for 7 Chinese children. The smooches speak volumes about what these families are feeling.
Loads and loads of love. We thank God that He allowed us this precious gift.
But in China, where the government is trying to get a handle on an exploding population, there are many precious gifts that end up abandoned.
Even though there are probably 4,000 children adopted to America from China every year, it still means that there is a surplus of children in the orphanages that need homes.
Tonight, 7 of them are being showered with love by families who are now bound by the heart, if not by blood.
Welcome home!
At Lambert Airport, I'm Dawn Kendrick, News 30.
Don't go away. The forecast is coming up next, but first, the stock market dropped 82 points today. Here are the closing numbers.
On World News Tonight, the United States launches strikes against suspected terrorists, including the chief suspect in the embassy bombings. The president rushes back to Washington, and for the latest details, watch World News Tonight.
Nightline, tonight at 10:35 on ABC 30.
Walther Glenn Law Associates, helping the victims of medical malpractice.
Few families victimized by birth-related cerebral palsy realize that their child has 20 years to prosecute a claim for medical negligence. I'm Gene Fahrenkrog, one of the partners at Walther Glenn. If your child has cerebral palsy from birth and is still under 20 years of age, call us at 231-CARE for a free consultation.
Walther Glenn Law Associates. We'll make the system work for you.
I see you've got 2 bags there. How about a third?
Are you here? Oh, you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm the bag.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And?
It's good.
Well, thank you. I'm enjoying your company.
I'm enjoying your fish.
It's a Long John Silver's everyday value meal, a crunchy combination of fish, shrimp, or chicken. Pick any 2 with fries for just $1.99.
I can take you home with me?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Head to Famous Bar's 15-hour sale this Friday and Saturday. Look in today's newspaper for bonus coupons with extra savings. Plus, don't miss the early bird specials Saturday morning till noon. Shop extra hours 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. for savings of 50 to 66% off summer clearance. Plus, find 25 to 50% off new fall fashions for the whole family. And great buys for the home. 0% finance charge, no payment till December. The 15-hour sale, only at Famous Bar.
TV30's favorite television series has teamed up with St. Louis's favorite remodeler to bring you the Thomas Construction Home Improvement Sweepstakes. Call 1-800-887-5511 and register to win thousands of dollars in home improvements or a free trip to Los Angeles to see a taping of the Home Improvement TV show. What does your home need? New windows or siding? A new kitchen or bath? A sunroom or deck? You can't win if you don't enter, so call now and register to win.
Along in my automobile, my baby beside me at the wheel. We're cruising and playing on the radio with no particular place to go.
The really scary thing is, you're probably paying the same amount for car insurance as they are. Call AIG now, and in 10 minutes you could save up to $200. Because we deal direct and insure better drivers, we ensure you get better rates.
Now, News 30 at 5 continues.
Well, with all the hot and humid weather we've had, today was really a nice, refreshing change of pace. Not exactly cool, but pretty nice, don't you think?
Not too bad. Much lower humidity levels. In fact, we got off to a cool start. 67 this morning. I don't know if you got outside and enjoyed it, but
not that
it
early.
Certainly was a beautiful day. And we're going to see a slight change in the weather pattern as we get closer into the weekend. Unfortunately, though, the heat is coming back. We're going to check now on the allergy index and show you that as it's been all summer long, extremely high mold count for you. Ragweed is also high today at 63. The numbers that you're seeing corresponding to those are where they should be. So 10 is a little high, is a little low compared to where we should be. Right now, we're under mostly sunny skies, very pleasant, dry air upon us. The air mass very stable. 86 is our current temperature. That was our high today after a low of 67. And look at the humidity, only at 37%. Temperatures all across the region, very nice, very pleasant. We're seeing some very nice weather, mid to upper 80s over much of the area. The warmer air off to the west of us, less cloud cover and a little bit more humidity over in portions of Kansas City. Now, when you factor in the humidity, when we speak of humidity, there's still some locations looking at some pretty warm weather. Little Rock, it feels like 100 there. Over in Omaha, 104 is the heat index there. We're not looking at a heat index. Our humidity is so low that it actually feels like the actual temperature outside. What a beautiful sight. Not a cloud in the sky, clear skies. We have some activity to the north of us as well as down to the south of us. We've got 2 frontal boundaries, one off over portions of Iowa and then one that's skirting down along the Gulf Coast. Now, those 2 fronts will play very little role in our weather factor except the one to the north of us. That could possibly bring us a change in our weather pattern late Sunday and early Monday. But until then, high pressure will remain in control. We'll continue to see that clockwise flow of warm air pushing up in our area. So while we got a little bit of a break from the heat and humidity today, it will be returning to our area very shortly. In fact, probably going to see it start rising tomorrow, and then we'll see more warmer temperatures as we get into the end of the weekend. As far as the rest of the country, more showers will plague the weekend down along the Gulf Coast. very nice, though, out in the Pacific Northwest. Let's check out the forecast for the rest of the evening. 78 degrees, mostly clear skies, a very pleasant evening for you. 68 when we get up in the morning, so it's going to be a rather cool morning start to the day, and then afternoon high near 91 degrees. So we've got some pretty nice weather coming our way. As far as the next 5 days, well, no big changes. We do have a chance of maybe some scattered showers coming into the picture on Monday and Tuesday. These will be simply scattered or isolated showers, so we're not looking for any real significant rain. And you can see the temperature beginning to drop as that cold front comes into the area late Sunday and Monday. So we're going to get a little bit of a break from the heat today, but we're going to see it coming back into our area just in time for the weekend. Pretty
Sounds
good, though.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
On the next Home Improvement, get ready to rumble.
Stop.
In this corner,
I hate him.
and his opponent.
He should be at the bottom of Lake Erie with the other shrimp. I hate him a lot.
Will this fighting put Tim out for the count?
Let me raise two very obnoxious little boys.
I have to go with Dad on this one.
Can he keep the kids from hitting below the belt?
We fit right in on Mars where there's no sign of intelligent life.
First of all,
Home Improvement.
They've never confirmed that.
ABC 30 entertaining you tonight at 6.
Want to save some big bucks? You can. It's Suntram Ford in Bridgeton.
Joe, it's a first for St. Louis. Our $49 new and used acquisition sale now through this Monday night. Pick any new Ford or late model pre-owned vehicle from our overstocked inventory. Pay $49, take on the payments, and it's yours. With payments as low as $99 a month. Credit problems? No problem. But this first time ever $49 new and used acquisition sale ends this Monday.
At Suntram Ford, I-270 in St. Charles Rock Road.
Hi folks, I'm Ron Allen. If you're looking for a great place to get away on the weekends or a peaceful year-round home site, let me show you some of the wooded lots available now at Lake Perry. A gated community only 90 miles south of St. Louis where you can own your own 1/3 to 1/2 acre wooded home site like this from only $75 a month and a low down payment. That's right. Call the toll-free number on your screen now and you can own a wooded lot from $75 a month and a low down payment. Don't miss out. Call the toll-free number on your screen now.
Hi.
Hi.
All these yours?
No, I'm a dog walker.
Oh, can I help you?
Oh, sure.
Look, come on, let's go, kids.
Come on. Come on, everybody.
Here we go. They all have a mind of their own, don't they?
They sure do.
Yeah. She's pretty tough, isn't she? When do you get your breakfast?
Whenever I can. I go to somewhere where I can have breakfast all day.
Bet you'd like IHOP's new French Connection, our delicious golden French toast with crispy bacon, sausage, ham, eggs, and hash browns, all for $3.99.
You ever walked any other kind of animals?
Iguana.
What do they eat?
Omelets.
Coming up tonight on News 30 at 10, Missouri wines. Many already have a fine reputation, but we found out this harvest promises some exceptional wines. Come along with us. Missouri wine country is in the News 30 spotlight tonight at 10. Also tonight, the baby business. A lot of local hospitals are competing to deliver St. Louis's newest arrivals. The battle for baby's first buck. Tonight at 10 on News 30. It's the news that matters most.
Sports director Rick Powers is joining us now. The Cards are in New York, and of course, we all want to know, has Mark McGwire made it to 50 yet?
Not yet, but when he does, Leslie, he'll be the first player ever to hit 50 home runs in 3 straight seasons. That's quite a stat, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's very close. McGwire will have plenty of chances the next 2 days at Shea Stadium. The Cards are playing 2 doubleheaders. Game 1 has started. Donovan Osborne pitching for the Cards, Willie Blair for the Mets, both throwing very well so far. McGwire, his first at-bat against Willie Blair. Fastball, strike 3 on the outside corner. He was out to end the inning. Bottom of the 3rd. Tony Phillips of the Mets. Right back to Donovan Osborne. He goes to second for 1, on to first for a nice double play. Then, in the 4th inning, McGwire's second at bat, he just ripped it. But Alfonso caught it for the out. And right now, he's hitless so far. There is no score in the game. Cardinals and the Mets in the 5th inning. Osborne has 3 strikeouts. Of course, we'll have this game and the second game for you tonight at 10. Before this game, McGwire held his once-a-series talk with reporters. There have been a lot of reporters in Chicago, but this was New York. So Big Mac was peppered with a lot of questions.
It's been a disappointing year. I mean, because we were tabbed to probably win the Central. We've had a few injuries, but you can only use injuries for an excuse for so long.
I didn't even talk to him, at least in that interview, about the home runs. Tough crowd, but McGwire tamed them. Giants led the Cubs today 3-2. But Glenn Allen Hill, here's the windup and the pitch. He slams it to deep left field for a grand slammer out of the ballpark. He hit it so hard, he broke the hydrant. And a free car wash was a bonus. Now, only kidding about breaking the hydrant, but he did help the Cubs win the game 7-3. The so-called preseason is over. The Rams haven't won, which is not a major disaster, but starting with this third game, you'd like to see things start to fall into place. The Rams back from Macomb. This is workout this afternoon. They're first at Rams Park. Jobs are still there to be won, and a win against Dallas Saturday night would be nice too.
Yeah, they're in a new program, getting it going and establishing different things, and I'm sure they haven't taken a real serious approach to preseason games. And I would imagine that they'll take a little bit more serious approach to this preseason game, just like we have.
They're probably still America's team, and it's always fun to play the Cowboys because of that mystique. But the preseason is preseason. We're just going to work on things we're trying to work on, and we haven't game planned for them any more than we have previously. So.
And tomorrow we'll know the game plan of holdout cornerback Ryan McNeil. He's holding his own news conference tomorrow afternoon to say whether he's going to stay out of camp or finally come in. Expectations for the Billiken soccer team are high today. Soccer America ranks SLU third in its preseason poll behind the defending champs, UCLA and Indiana. The Bills play Indiana in an exhibition Saturday night, 7:30 at the soccer park. Let's face it, sports is the fun and game department around here, and I have plenty of fun stuff to show you on the Powers Plays today. Fun and games, how about a cat and mouse game? Like the runner had any chance here of making it back in. Look at this magic. Luis Castillo, the dive, the flip, the throw for the double play. This one worth another peep. That is outstanding. And so is Omar Vizquel with the dive and the flip to second base. Now it's Darren Erstad going airborne for the out. Three Giants going after this airborne ball, and look at this. No one wanted it. And here's a fair ball down the right field line in Arizona. The security guard, trying to keep the field secure, picks it up, picks up the fair ball and threw it into the stands. He's saying, what an idiot I was for doing that. And in Seattle, line shot, this is a fair ball. The ball girl dives for it. Luckily, she missed the ball. She had no business going for it, but that was a heck of a try anyway. And look at her embarrassment for that. If it's a fair ball, keep your hands off of it. That's sports. We're going to take a short break. Leslie will be back with more news right after this.
If you see news happen, call the News 30 tip line at 231-NEWS. That's 231-NEWS.
It's a home run deal now when you connect to TCI Digital during digital demonstration days. Get TCI Digital Cable and you'll also get 2 free tickets to selected Cardinals games through the end of this season free. Call 1-800-CABLE-ME now and have TCI Digital installed for only $9.95. And you'll be able to enjoy many new channels, including 11 movie channels with TCI's Digital Blue package. Remember, 2 tickets to a Cardinals game free during digital demonstration days. This is a limited time offer, so call 1-800-CABLE-ME today.
Come feel the beat of Tiger Football 98. Missouri football. Call 1-800-CAT-PAWS.
You've seen his face. You've heard the voice. Now get the album. Introducing The Balladeer for the next millennium. This is Wendell.
I never meant to break your heart. I never meant
Wendell. Serenading you.
Maybe tomorrow.
Wendell Brown on Raw Deal Records. Available now at your favorite record store.
Shattering news, St. Louis. At long last, it's coming back. The legendary story, the heart-grabbing music, the international phenomenon, the Phantom of the Opera, the award-winning musical event that has captured the imagination of theatergoers around the world. Now it's your turn to surrender to the music of the night. begins next Wednesday, August 26th at the Fox Theater. Tickets at the box office or call MetroTix at 314-534-1111.
News 30's closed captioning is brought to you by your St. Louis quality Ford dealers on both sides of the river.
Okay, here's what's coming up on News 30 tonight at 10. Missouri's wine country is in the News 30 spotlight tonight. We're going to take you to the vineyards for this year's harvest. It's a good story. We'll have that tonight. And the competition between local hospitals for pregnant mothers. We'll have those stories tonight on News 30. That's coming up tonight at 10. Now, before we go, we want to check in one more time with meteorologist Karen Shipman in our Weather Center for a last look at the weather.
Very clear and pleasant evening tonight. Look for a low getting down to about 68, and in the evening, 78. So great evening for you.
Karen, thank you. And finally tonight, a recap of our top story. The U.S. attacks on terrorist leader and financier Osama bin Laden. The bombings at the terrorist camps in Afghanistan and at a chemical facility in the Sudan were carried out shortly after noon St. Louis time. An address to the nation this afternoon, President Clinton said in that address, our target was terror. We hope that you will stay with News 30 and ABC News for the very latest on this story. ABC will air a special report, America Strikes Back, at 10 p.m. tonight. Then at 10, expanded coverage right here on News 30. Thank you, as always, for joining us tonight. World News Tonight is next.
On World News Tonight this Thursday, the U.S. goes after suspected terrorists linked to the U.S. Embassy bombings in Africa. Airstrikes today in Afghanistan and the Sudan.
Our target was terror. Our mission was clear.
What's next for the #1 suspect in the bombings? Osama bin Laden, one of the world's most wanted men. Was the timing of the bombings related to the Monica Lewinsky investigation? Some members of Congress want to know. And is military action the best way to fight terrorists? Or could it do more harm than good? We'll take a closer look.
In New York. This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Forrest Sawyer.
Good evening. We are learning more details about today's U.S. assault on a suspected terrorist camp in Afghanistan and a Sudanese chemical plant believed to be involved in the production of nerve gas.